Well, hello everybody. Here I am, a person who clearly does not care about their visual appearance, because I kind of owe you guys an apology. I said that I was going to start scheduling videos to come out on certain days, and then I didn't abide by that schedule, like the first time that I said it was going to be relevant. I believe I told you guys I was going to be doing rankings revamped on Fridays, and then Warframe videos on today, Saturday. That did not end up happening because I was at college orientation on Friday and I only just got back home, which probably explains why my hair was a mess. But anyway, here's how this is gonna work. I just got done watching half of a Danny Mata video, so I'm gonna record this. This is Rankings Revamped Devil Fruit Fridays Part 3. I'm gonna record this, then I'm gonna watch a bit more Danny Mata, and then I'm gonna record the next Warframe video, which I don't know, what did I do last? Equinox? So next will probably be Excalibur, which I have quite a bit to talk about for that one. So I hope you guys are ready for me to film 2 videos while chewing gum. Anyway, uh first and foremost we have a bit of a depressing fruit, and that is the wheel fruit. The wheel fruit, you might think it allows you to turn into a wheel based on previous examples, but no. It kind of does. It just allows you to rotate parts of your body, so just like imagine me doing that but my wrist goes around 360 without me having to, yeah, whatever. The wheel fruit, yeah, it just lets you rotate body parts. I From what I've seen, it kind of allows the user to attain like a weird form of flight. Like you just spin your arms and your torso so fast that it becomes a helicopter, but it's not really a well thought out form of flight, which is why this fruit didn't get a 10 out of 10 in utility. Because for context, in case you guys don't remember, I got 4 categories: combat, utility, potential, and detriments. All that is combined into a score out of 40, and that's how they're ranked. In terms of power, this thing got a 4, and it got a 7 in utility, 5 in potential, and a 6 in detriments. Because I'd imagine it's pretty easy to make yourself dizzy with this devil fruit. I'm in a bit of a limbo slash purgatory here because on the one hand, I would like you guys to be able to see my eyes, but on the other hand, I need to be wearing my glasses so I can read this incredibly small text on the screen. But then also my screen reflects out of my glasses because I got like blue light blockers, I think. So I don't know. I think I'll just deal with wearing the glasses and you guys can suffer the pain of having to not see my eyes. Anyway, uh so the wheel fruit got a total score of 22 out of 40, and next up we have the garb fruit. You may think that it is a garbage-based power. Thankfully, it's not. The garb fruit is, it allows you to make garb, so like clothing and stuff, or like, I don't know, pants. It basically, from what I've seen in the show, you can basically just take, well, this is like a glasses cleaning rag, but usually they use a leaf. You just put it on top of your head like this, and then do like a little hand sign or whatever, and that leaf just turns into whatever clothing you want. And then the clothing disappears and turns back into a leaf if you take it off, which is a bit unfortunate, but on the one side, you can have any clothes you want anytime. On the downside, uh, you only have it as long as you're wearing it. So, could you create a successful fashion brand? Probably. Would it be a bit of a weird business type deal? Yes. Anyway, regardless of that, the Garb Fruit got a 3 out of 10 in combat, a 6 out of 10 in utility, 5 out of 10 in detriment, or no, 5 out of 10 in potential, and a 7 out of 10 in detriments for a 23 out of 40 total score. Next up, we have the Munch Fruit. Now, the Munch Fruit is terrible. I'm gonna say right now, it's very bad. The thing is, it allows you to eat anything, and it also has this function where you can combine objects that you eat into a single combination object, and that process actually led to the person who ate the fruit inventing this new material called quote unquote wapometal, which is apparently a very useful material. Unfortunately, it also puts you in a perpetual state of hunger. So, yeah, you can eat anything, but the downside is you always have to eat or you starve. Uh, this fruit got a 5 in combat, 7 in utility, uh, 8 in potential, and a 3 in detriments just because of the eating disorder thing. I may have missaid a few rankings. Just in case I did missay them, I kind of want to just do this thing in one take. So, wheel fruit got a 4 in power, 7 in utility, 5 in potential, and a 6 in detriments. And then the garb fruit got a 3 in power, 8 in utility, 5 in potential, and a 7 in detriments. Okay? Okay. Garb fruit and munch fruit both got 23s out of 40. Next up, we have the pile fruit. What does the pile fruit do? Good question, because it's not very obvious by the name. The pile fruit allows the fruit user to combine their body with the bodies of other willing participants, which I believe it can be up to 12. How does the, like, mind and self control type thing work? I don't know. But to my knowledge, it's just a better version of the jacket fruit that I went over in part one. This thing got a 1 in combat, a 3 in utility, a 10 in potential, and a 10 in detriments for our first 24 out of 40 total score. Next up, we have the spike fruit, which, by the way, is number 144. Wheel fruit was 148, so we've already gotten through like 5 of these. The spike fruits basically just allows you to create spikes on any part of your body: hands, elbows, arms, knees, feet, hair, what have you. Uh, yeah, it got a 5 out of 10 in combat, 6 out of 10 in utility, 3 in potential, because there's not really very much you can do with spikes. And then it got a 10 in detriments for another 24 out of 40 total score. Next up, we have the cream fruit. Now, the cream fruit, from my understanding, just allows you to create and manipulate cream-based substances. So, like sour cream, uh, cream-based icings, that kind of stuff. I'm not totally sure of the scope of like what kind of creams it can create, but I don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, by that light out that window, you might think it's noon. It is 8:16. This is California in the summertime, people, I'm telling you. But anyway, uh The cream fruit got a surprising 5 in combat, 4 in utility, 5 in potential, and a 10 in detriments. Because, I mean, producing and manipulating cream is not really any detriment unless you want there to be. But anyway, that's another 24 out of 40 total score. Next up, we have the rally fruit. Now, the rally fruit is not really a particularly useful devil fruit on its own, but it's really good for like a military leader or the leader of an army, because with this fruit, you will always be able to convince people to do what you want so long as it aligns with their own self-interests. So, like, if perhaps you're, I don't know, leading a war effort against a tyrannical nation, you would know exactly the right words to tell a large group of people to convince them to rise up against their corrupt government. Yeah, I can see this fruit being either really great or really terrible in real life. But yeah, it got a 1 in combat, a 6 in utility, a 10 in potential, and an 8 in detriments. I don't really know why I put an 8 in detriments, but I'm not changing my mind now. I'm in too deep. That leads to a 25 out of 40 total score. Next up, we have the mole fruit. Now, the mole fruit simply allows you to turn into a mole or mole human hybrid, as the name implies, because this is a Zoan type devil fruit. Anyway, the mole fruits, self-explanatory. It got a 5 in combat, 7 in utility, 3 in potential, and a 10 in detriments for a 25 out of 40 total score. And yeah, it just allows you to turn into a mole or a mole human hybrid. And I do think if you go fully into being a mole, you go blind, but you also get some pretty good digging abilities, so who am I to judge if you want that power? Next up, we have 140, another Zoan devil fruit. We have the bison fruit. Now, the bison fruit, self-explanatory. It's a Zoan fruit. It allows you to turn into a bison or bison human hybrid. This thing got a 5 in combat, a 4 in utility, a 6 in potential, and a 10 in detriments for another 25 out of 40 total score. But yeah, all I have in terms of notes is that it'd be good for combat, and you could apparently, as all Zoans can do, you can be like the pinnacle of the given animal. So you could be the pinnacle of a bison, or I don't know, if you wanted the mole fruit, you could be the pinnacle of moles. But uh, I would say because of just how big a bison is generally, it's not really practical in small spaces. Anyway, we got time for one more. This is number 139, the bind fruit. Now, the bind fruit specifically allows you to create and manipulate iron shackles. What you do with those iron shackles, what forms you make them into, entirely up to you. The only limitation is you produce them yourself and you manipulate them on contact, and they have to be specifically iron. So, yeah. Uh, This fruit got a 5 out of 10 in combat, 3 in utility, 7 in potential, and a 10 in detriments for a 25 out of 40 total score. And with that, I believe I'll be seeing you guys off. Be sure to tune in next time with the next Warframe video, probably Excalibur. See you guys later.